All right, well, very good. Let's start with Representative Hausman. And I want to, the last few weeks we haven't spent much time on the bonding bill, and I want to start with that, and then we're going to talk about the conference committee process. But can you bring our viewers up to date on where the whole bonding process is at, and kind of outline for the viewers what's going to happen next?
Well, we're starting to get a little nervous in the House. Senator Senja moved very quickly in the Senate, and what he did was go back to the last night of the session last year, where a bonding bill was on the table, and because of a variety of things, it didn't happen. And then we worked all summer negotiating, hoping that we, in fact, would have a special session where both the tax bill and the bonding bill would be dealt with. And so he introduced the bill. What we say about that bill is as intended, because we did it so last minute. It had so many mistakes, not only in numbers but description, that frankly, if it had passed, they probably couldn't have done most of those projects anyway without correcting the mistakes. So the bill last year, as intended. And then he included, I don't think he included any of the governor's initial requests from the summer. I introduced a bill then, since we had done all the work, that did three things. What I thought was reflected in the negotiations this summer. The bill as intended, the last night of session, mistakes corrected. The road earmarks out, because that bill had earmarked lots of individual roads, which we don't usually historically do. And a letter was written by Republican and Democratic past chairs saying this is a very bad idea. It politicizes building of roads. So there had been an agreement, my understanding was during the summer, that those would be removed. And then finally, one set of the governor's requests during the negotiation, Health Sciences Building at the University of Minnesota, the Fort Snelling Visitor Center, they're celebrating, they want to have that ready to celebrate an anniversary coming up. And now we're still waiting for the process to start. I am so hoping that we start that process this next week. If you wait till the last minute, that's when you run out of time and you make mistakes. And it's really been, I think we're going on, this is the third year that we won't have had a substantive bonding bill, and that begins to have an impact on the state. I read about Detroit Lakes. They are all ready for their wastewater infrastructure. They've done all the planning. They have their local money. But they also need some accommodation because the burden on the individual taxpayers would be so great that they need us to lift a cap that they would qualify for. And so all they're waiting for is the state to pass a bonding bill. We can tell those stories all over the state. So my hope is we don't wait till the last minute. The problem is leaders often want to hold a bill thinking they can leverage more power in the deal making. I have to tell you, the public hates that when we think that a few people are going to hold all of those key pieces for leverage. And I think it's probably not a good thing for our state.
And the bonding bill, just to clarify for our viewers, the bonding bill requires a 60% vote in both bodies and then to be signed by the governor.
It's the hardest bill to pass. The others require just a simple majority. This requires a supermajority. And it funds all public infrastructure, higher education, wastewater infrastructure, all the state agencies, military affairs, veterans, corrections. There's a prison in St. Cloud that has a very dangerous entrance, and we've been trying for a couple of years to get that project done. That's in the bill.
Senator Ralph, on the Senate side, Senate bonding bill, you want to update our viewers?
Well, we basically started right out of the gun almost the first week. When we first met, we started considering, and as the representative indicated, we basically took what was a structure that was established both in the last legislature and then over the summer in the negotiations, and tried to work from that with the idea that if we could get a bill passed, that it would clear out the logjam,
yes, and
that we could get started moving forward with new projects. And I'm very much concerned about getting I toured the St. Cloud prison about 2 weeks ago, and the intake situation there, they started building it and then they didn't get the second phase. So there's a very, very dangerous situation there that I definitely am pushing to get taken care of. They just need to do that. So yes, I'm very concerned that we get moving. We just had a hearing yesterday on the bonding bill.
And that was flood hazard mitigation, I think,
right? Well, but we started doing more things than that and took some testimony, and I think I believe Senator Senjum is very interested in moving that forward.
Yes.
And that's, I think, where we're at. I'm sure we'll be meeting again on it next week. I suspect that we'll have another meeting and keep moving forward on it.
And you have one of those projects, the State Security Hospital, where also there are really safety issues in terms of employees.
Sure. Thank you for mentioning that. We're very concerned about funding for workplace safety and the safety of the patients at the State Security Hospital in St. Peter. In 2015, the Bureau of Mediation helped all parties come to an understanding about what that would take. And unfortunately, that's somewhat held hostage, although the governor supports it, and although Senator Senjum includes money for that. I always say, who's against workplace safety? So I'm sympathetic to those workers, both in St. Cloud and St. Peter, who are hoping we can get something done.
And both of those projects are in the bill that was
The current bill.
Yeah, I'd like to also comment too, is you and I have a little different take on the bonding bill last year, Alice. We put together a very strong bill. It passed on the House, bipartisan support, and we really focused on projects that helped all of Minnesota, Duluth, greater Minnesota, and so forth. We had that agreement, and unfortunately we had a train wreck out of the Senate last year. We had a handwritten note at the last minute. I understand all the parties came together. Chair Torkelson did a wonderful job of putting that bill together. As you know, you have that history. It is not easy to put together a bonding bill and get that type of vote that we did, and so forth. Just let me finish. So I thought it was a good bill. Now, this session here is a high priority of the House to do it, but just have to understand that this is a budget year. We have to set that priority first. If we don't get taken care of the budget, that's our constitutional responsibility. So we're going to get that taken care of. I've talked to Chair Erdahl, and he is enthusiastic about it. A lot of our members are too. So it's a priority. But as we know in homes and businesses, we got to get our budget. We got to get that taken care of. Higher ed, education, aid like that, and so forth.
But I think the point you made was what Senator Senjum is saying is if we could get last year's stuff off the table, it allows him to get a fresh start for next year. And so because those pieces were pretty much in place, that one we could have passed the first month of session before we got into the budget, because it really is unrelated. The bonding bill is a different kind of situation. You don't even need budget targets for that. We had somewhat of a built-in number in the forecast. And so we literally could have done that in the first day of session. The dilemma last year was it was the last 10 minutes of the session that bill appeared. None of us had read it. I knew what was in it because I work on that committee, but virtually no one else did. They were trying to run it across the street to the Senate. That's how close we were to midnight. You just can't do that. You take a chance when you wait till the last 10 minutes.
Well, as you know, it wasn't the last 10 minutes. You had hearings throughout the session. We also have a governor's administration that sometimes is a little slow at coming to the table. We worked really hard in the House with the Senate. Last time it was, Senate was controlled by the Democrats, House by the GOP. We worked really close together. So to say it was the last 10 minutes is not accurate. You guys had summer tours, so it's a process. It's a process. So again, we passed out of the House floor in strong numbers. It was agreed upon going to the Senate. Then we had 7 Metro Democrats who wanted a train that hurt greater Minnesota. Greater Minnesota got hurt in this. And that's what's sad, because we had 7 selfish senators.
There would have been so many mistakes in that bill, they've all been corrected now, that none of those projects would have been funded anyway. Here's the other piece to remember about this year's bonding bill. Senator Senjum has a larger target, so he was able to put that bill on the table. It looks now as though, at least in the House, that the size of the bill will be $800 million, but when we passed the transportation bill, they said $200 million should be additional borrowing in the bonding bill for local roads and bridges. That puts $600 million as the total for everything else, for the whole state, for higher education, for everything else. Having written these bills, I know that's going to be a really difficult way to get $70 million for the state security hospital. So I'm concerned about the size of it. We have borrowed, we have a couple of people, Representative Vogel and others, who are very concerned about debt and who really wanted to even write some guidelines into statute. And then the transportation bill came to the floor. And in the transportation bill, we are borrowing $1.3 billion we're authorizing borrowing $1.3 billion for roads and bridges. That will also affect guidelines for the bonding bill.
So I'll just ask, just to finish up here, Representative Backer, but you do expect a bonding bill to come out of the House?
I do expect a bonding bill. And in regards with the transportation, we use credit in business. I'm a business owner for things that make sense. And for the state of Minnesota, investing that amount of money into it makes sense. The House side, we have, in a 10-year period, $6 billion going into the transportation bill. And yes, we're working with the bonding. And so none of us have a crystal ball here. I wish I did, so I can't say definitely. But there's a flavor for it. Again, we on the House side, us GOPers, we know we have to get our budget. That's constitutionally responsible. The citizens of Minnesota expect us to do it. And we're 3 weeks ahead of time. No one's talking about that. We're 3 weeks ahead of time than 2 years ago. That's good news. People in my district say, hey, that's good to know that we are ahead of schedule. So that gives us more time for these type of important things. And I think we're really close on things.
One of the dilemmas when you borrow
last thought on the bonding bill, and then we're going to
and
move
this
on.
one is transportation.
Oh,
when,
okay.
when you borrow that much, when we look out 10 years, in the highest year for the debt service that you have to accommodate, over $100 million for debt service that you have to do first. Before you build any new roads, before you maintain any new roads, over $100 million that you have to put aside for debt service. That's the price tag on the borrowing that we've done in that bill.
Did we just segue to transportation?
So
I think we did.